And Indiana has done it. Their first ever Commissioner's Cup championship, knocking off the Minnesota Lynx. This is Howard setting up McDonald, knocking down the tray. Finds a cutting McDonald, easy dude.
You won't believe what the Indiana Fever just accomplished. Down their biggest star, Caitlin Clark, abandoned by a veteran player, Dana Bonner, and facing the most dominant team in the WNBA. They were set up to fail spectacularly. The Minnesota Lynx and MVP frontrunner Napheesa Collier were supposed to cruise to the Commissioner Cup title. Instead, the Fever delivered a masterclass in heart and determination. Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, and Natasha Howard led a performance that left everyone speechless. What happened in that game will change how you see this Fever team forever. And what Caitlin Clark said after the game, 6 words that perfectly captured why this win means everything. If you support the Fever, comment, "I've got the Fever." Let's go. Picture this. The Indiana Fever walking into the Target Center for their first ever Commissioner's Cup final with their roster falling apart at the seams. Caitlin Clark, their superstar sophomore who had been carrying this team all season, was sitting on the bench for the 3rd straight game with a groin injury that just wouldn't heal. This wasn't just any player missing. This was their leading scorer, their assist machine, the reason fans packed arenas across the country.
Caitlin and her status, just how did she look? How did she feel today during shoot-around? And is she making progress and getting closer to playing?
She's making progress. She's making progress. You know, I think, again, top of mind, I think I told you this afternoon, is just long-term. You know, making sure that we don't have any setbacks. You know, making progress and feeling good are 2 different things. And we want to make sure that she feels good. We want to make sure that she's confident. We want to make sure that we're not putting her in a position to have any setbacks. And that's the priority right now.
That's the priority right now, but that's not all the Fever we're dealing with. Dearest Dantas was thousands of miles away playing in the FIBA America, leaving another massive hole in their rotation.
Listo. Hey Fever, good luck. I miss you.
Then you have the Dwana Bonner situation that absolutely shocked everyone. Here's a veteran player the Fever signed in the offseason to add experience and leadership. What does she do? She quits on the team after just 9 games and gets waived. Talk about abandoning your teammates when they need you most.
Dwana Bonner was brought in for leadership. She was brought in for leadership. And do you want to know all that these young players learned from her? If things don't go your way, refuse to show up. Continue to get paid a max contract while you are sitting out, refusing to play.
She got benched. She couldn't handle it. I want out. She's not playing well. She's getting criticized. I want out.
Now let's talk about who they were facing. The Minnesota Lynx weren't just good. They were dominant. A 14 win-loss record heading into this game made them the best team in the entire WNBA. They were the defending Commissioner's Cup champions playing on their home court with Napheesa Collier leading the charge as the MVP frontrunner. The sold-out crowd was electric, ready to watch their team repeat as champions. Las Vegas had the Lynx favored by 14 points. 14 points. The basketball world had already written the Fever's obituary before tip-off. Sports analysts were talking about how this would be a blowout, how Indiana had no business being on the same court as Minnesota without their best players.
Look pretty flawless, you know, in the way that they're playing. I don't know if different is the word as much as they look even more connected. You know, they're a team that was connected a year ago, but really the nuance of having each other's back on the defensive end, of knowing where your teammate's going to be, you know, discipline to coverages, the connectivity that they have on the offensive end of the floor. I mean, the way that they move with and without the ball, the way that the ball moves makes it really tough to cover. You know, I often say that offense is like a dance, and they are flowing, man. They are making music, and there's no doubt about it. So we have to try to be disruptive, and we have to try to take them out of that rhythm.
Appearance in franchise history, and everything that could go wrong did go wrong. The remaining players knew every eye was on them. Every critic was waiting for them to fold under the pressure. The Fever were walking into this game like David facing Goliath, except David showed up with a broken slingshot and half his army had deserted him. Here's where it gets really ugly. The Fever without Caitlin Clark looked like a completely different team. They had lost 3 of their last 5 games leading up to the Commissioner Cup final, often squandering double-digit leads that should have been easy wins. The offensive pace slowed to a crawl, killing the rhythm that made them dangerous all season long. The ball movement just disappeared. Players started playing hero ball instead of team basketball. You could see it happening in real time. Instead of making the extra pass, they'd force up contested shots. Instead of trusting their teammates, they'd try to do everything themselves. This wasn't the Fever team that had been exciting fans all year.
This is your first season with this batch of players, and so I'm just wondering if the Commissioner's Cup is just a stepping stone for greater things to come.
Well, I hope so. But at the same time, we want to take care of business now, right? We want to win a cup. So we're not looking at it necessarily as a stepping stone. We're looking at it as an opportunity to win. And then we're looking at it, as coaches, as an opportunity to continue to stack days. We haven't had a lot of consistency in our lineup. And so we haven't really built that camaraderie and connectedness that we need in order for us to be successful. But we can take another step towards growth, another step towards consistency on the floor, in execution, in energy level. We're playing the best team in the league right now, and we've got to come out and we got to play our A game.
Let's talk about Aaliyah Boston. She's one of their best weapons, but she wasn't getting the passes she needed to dominate in the paint. Boston thrives when she gets the ball in her spots, but her teammates weren't finding her. She'd establish position down low, call for the ball, and watch as guards forced up shots from the perimeter instead. You could see the frustration building on her face. The team's identity seemed to vanish without their floor general. Clark wasn't just scoring and getting assists. She was the one organizing the offense, getting everyone involved, making sure the ball moved. Without her, they looked lost on both ends of the court. Opponents started game planning differently too. They knew they could focus all their defensive attention on stopping Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston without worrying about Clark breaking down their schemes.
What are some of the keys that you see as to how exactly you're going to do that, or what you guys need to do to approach the game successfully?
Yeah, I think we've got to be disruptive. We've got to make sure that we play with a level of physicality that doesn't allow them to just pass the ball around where everywhere that they want to pass it. So we've got to make sure that we're disruptive. We got to make sure that we're elite at our on-ball screen defense. This is a team that reads really well, that moves really well. We got to be elite at the point of attack on on-ball screen defense. We've got to. We always talk about guarding our yard, being able to guard one-on-one so we're not in rotation early. I think for us, it's going to have to start on the defensive end of the floor, so that allows us to get out and run in transition as well. But we can't allow them to just do exactly what they want to do on the offensive end.
Anyone else? Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
This Commissioner Cup game became the moment of truth for the entire roster. Could they figure out how to play winning basketball without their best player? Could they rediscover the ball movement and team chemistry that made them special? This struggle made what happened next even more incredible.
Head coach Stephanie White has a motto. She says, pressure is a privilege. You came into the former champion's house and took them down on their home floor. How does it feel to bring Indiana their first championship?
It feels great. We knew that we had to come in here with energy. We know that they're a great team and they were going to go on runs. And so for us, it was about containing those runs and then going on our own.
What happened next will give you chills. The Indiana Fever decided to write their own story. From the opening tip, you could see something different in their eyes. This wasn't the same team that had been struggling without Clark. They came out firing on all cylinders, making sure they win one for their injured superstar. What gave you the confidence?
Gave you the confidence to come in here and take down this team on their home floor?
We knew we were capable. God has equipped us. And so for us, it's about coming in here and doing what we know what to do. I think the entire game, coach just continued to instill that confidence, continue to tell us take it one possession at a time, and we did that.
The game plan was obviously to wall off the paint against you and Tosh, but both of you guys finished with double-doubles. How did you guys get freed up? And for you especially, how'd you get going late in this game?
It started with Tosh. Tosh, that entire first half and even that entire game, just really took it to them, made them have to guard. And so with her attacking from different angles, they had to space out a little bit. And that fourth quarter, I was able to score.
And finally, Aaliyah, what are you going to do with your prize money?
That's for me to know.
Congratulations, lady.
Kelsey Mitchell stepped into the spotlight and absolutely took over when it mattered most. She drove to the basket in the first quarter against the Lynx, showing her offensive skills right away. Mitchell worked hard to get open from beyond the arc, shooting an incredible 41% from three-point range. Her ability to quickly get shots off became a weapon the Lynx couldn't stop. She wasn't forcing anything, just playing her game at the highest level.
Corrals it out to Cunningham in the corner. Got the three. Indiana on top.
Knew she could. She finished with a massive double-double, 12 points, 11 rebounds, and 6 assists. Boston matched up against all-star Nafisa Collier and held her own. You could see the confidence building with every possession. After the game, Boston showed her leadership, saying, "Everyone is important." I think everyone really played their role. We really handled that fourth quarter. Natasha Howard delivered an MVP-level performance that caught everyone off guard and changed the entire game. Howard earned Commissioner's Cup MVP honors with 16 points, 12 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals.
Howard finds it, cutting McDonald, easy deuce.
Beautiful read by Natasha Howard. And Ari McDonald, that opened up the three-point shot.
Howard to steal. Open floor in front of her, got the lay. Indiana battling.
This crowd is quiet. Natasha Howard is a former Defensive Player of the Year, knows the ball is coming to Nafisa Collier, just gets that deflection, gets going in the open court, and it is all Indiana in terms of the momentum in this game right now. This building is quiet.
She went 8 for 8 from the free throw line, showing ice in her veins under pressure. Howard's defensive intensity was key. She guarded Nafisa Collier and limited her to tough shots while forcing 5 turnovers. Her performance was absolutely dominant when the Fever needed it most.
It was a team effort tonight, but with 16 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 assists, your MVP is Natasha Howard.
Sophie Cunningham brought the fire the team needed off the bench. She provided a significant spark with 13 points and 7 rebounds, including 3 three-pointers that helped the Fever rally from an early deficit. Cunningham's clutch performance had fans going wild. Gives it up to Mitchell. Mitchell over to Cunningham. Long range. Bottoms. Big-time trifecta. Sophie Cunningham. Lexi Hall stepped up with huge contributions that proved she belongs on this stage. She wasn't going to let this opportunity slip away. New signing Ari McDonald made an immediate impact too, contributing 12 points and giving the team exactly the spark they needed. Her return to the roster couldn't have been more perfectly timed.
Finds Hall beyond the arc, is scored. Holson with the trifecta.
And that's how you do it.
Over to Cunningham, long range, bottoms.
A joint effort across the board. Everyone on this roster did their part tonight.
The team suddenly remembered how to play together and move the ball. 5 players scored in double figures, showing their balanced attack. The ball movement was crisp. The defense was suffocating. They held the Minnesota Lynx to just 39 points over the final 3 quarters and limited them to 34.9% shooting. You could feel the momentum shift when the crowd at Target Center roared back to life as the home team clawed back to within 7 and forced a timeout early in the fourth quarter. But the Fever responded immediately with 2 baskets by Boston and another by McDonald. They refused to allow Minnesota even the opportunity to get back into the game. The final moments showed a team with killer instinct. They closed out the victory 74-59, shocking the basketball world. The underdogs had done the impossible. They proved that heart and determination could overcome any obstacle. This wasn't just a win. It was a statement that would change everything.
Coming into this, you talked about so much, hey, you got to have the right approach, don't trick this off, like have the focus. Take me inside that mindset of you guys coming into this game and how tonight was just a collective effort that got it done.
I describe this entire experience as a gut check experience, and I mean that intentionally. I mean physically, mentally, psychologically. It was a gut check moment today, and I think for us, it was about making sure we won those moments that mattered. And I thought down the stretch of the game, we did an unbelievable job of just staying together, weathering the storm, and kind of utilizing what we needed to based on our schemes and our personnel from practice. And I thought down the stretch of the game specifically, we bought in. All 5 of us, whoever was on the floor, bought in, and I think you guys got to see that.
The WNBA's social media account showed her focused demeanor, proving her dedication to the team's success even while unable to play. Everyone wanted to hear what Clark would say about this incredible upset victory. The anticipation was building as cameras followed the team into the locker room for their celebration. What came next was pure gold.
Guys, I just know everybody in the league is sick. They're pissed.
This win proved they could succeed even when everyone wanted them to fail. The media's pregame expectations were completely overturned. ESPN had actually pre-scheduled a video titled Lynx Dominate Fever to win Commissioner Cup that they quickly had to change after the game. That tells you everything about how shocking this outcome was. The Minnesota Lynx showed real class in defeat. Head coach Cheryl Reeve admitted after the game, "They just sort of beat us," highlighting the strength and execution of the Indiana team. This acknowledgement from the defending Commissioner Cup champions showed the respect the Fever had earned with their performance. You're looking at a Fever team that just proved they're built for 2025 and beyond. They showed they have the depth, the heart, and the character to win without their biggest star. When Clark returns healthy, this team becomes absolutely dangerous. This victory became more than just a game. It was a statement about overcoming adversity and jealousy. The Fever proved that when everyone counts you out, when key players abandon you, when injuries pile up, true champions find a way to rise above it all.